How'd Vegas go?
It went well. You know, it was an honor to be invited, to be able to compete some of the top players in the country, be able to hear from the top players in the NBA, have those guys speak to us, including LeBron. So, you know, it was a great time.
What does that mean to you to kind of have that honor in addition to the fact that you're actually, going out there and competing?
It means a lot. You know, it's just something that, you can tell your kids later on down the road. And, it's definitely, it's a great outgoing for, myself, as far as publicity goes and as well as the team. The team comes first, and, it definitely helps everything out, to know that Penn State is coming up and Penn State is on the rise.
Yeah, can you just talk a little more about that? I mean, Penn State, typically isn't in that situation. Penn State doesn't have players that do that kind of stuff. Is that something that, also adds a little significance for you to represent Penn State?
Definitely. Every time, Penn State is such a huge alumni. Every time you leave, every time you go to places, you can always run into guys at Penn State. So, you always represent I try to represent myself well, So definitely, being able to go out there and represent Penn State and be able to people to know that, Penn State is here as LeBron Skills Academy, is after Deron Williams Skills Academy, here to learn. So it was great. It was a great honor.
Not that you have any lack of confidence, but doing something like this, I mean, does that boost, does that give you a little more perspective about how good you are? I'm not trying to blow smoke, but I mean, really.
It's definitely great, because now I'm able to compete against some of the other the great guys, not just the great players that are in the Big Ten, but it could be able to compete against the great point guards all across the country. Compete against, to have some of the great players that's on your team that you see on TV all the time to be on your team. It's great to be able to just compete and see where you are.
NBA is a goal of yours, right?
I didn't hear you.
NBA is a goal of yours, right?
Right.
I mean, does this give you an idea too to gauge, what kind of prospects you might have on that level?
Definitely. You be able to see the NBA people there and all the scouts there to be able to watch it. But like I said, I still got one more year to go. I'm worried about that year.
Of course.
And then after a while, I'll try not to think too far ahead. Try not to think too far ahead. But afterwards, then I'll start thinking about that. I'm sure coach will have the best one.
Do you get any input from some of the guys that are out there, some of the talent scouts that are out there in terms of how to improve your own game? The areas that you would need to get better to make it to that next level.
Definitely. One of the huge things that they try to relate to is in both camps. As far as being point guards is that we're not the first option. As far as getting everybody else involved, setting your team up, and then they kind of showed us down in the passes that we would have to make. That's where they really tried to relate that to us and instill that in our brain. So definitely I'll take that.
I mean, you're the first and the second option last year, right? I mean, like you had these great assist numbers, but you also had all the scoring numbers. What do you see your role changing at all this year? Especially having somebody like DJ
like I said,
also in the backcourt.
I'm not sure what my role will be this year.
Okay.
I go in each year, and Coach John tells me what he needs for what I need to do for the team to win, and I'm here to do that. I've always grown up being a pass first guy. Coaches instilled in shooting in me this past year, and if I have to go back to being pass first, I feel comfortable with it.
You excited?
Yeah, I'm very excited. I can't wait to go. This is great being out here for to live for life. And just seeing these guys work hard, and knowing that football season is right around the corner.
Cool.